I'd like to comment on the curious case of Article 223, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in this report, you're going to notice that there was in excess of 6 billion Kenya shillings that had been committed to repurchase Telkom back from Helios and back to the country. Mr. Speaker, I am currently sitting as the chairman of the Communications, Information and Innovation Committee, and I can report to this House that as we speak today, the legal status of Telkom, an asset that belongs to the people of Kenya, sits in abeyance. As we speak today, no one can tell you the actual legal status of this very important asset called Telkom. Mr. Speaker, in the dying minutes of the last administration, there had been a change of ownership that was extremely curious because it was happening between 4 days to the election and around 10 days after the election. Change of monies that were finding their ways from whoever they were finding their way from, coming into Kenya and then being expatriated to safe havens, some in the Cayman Islands and others in some strange places. But ultimately, I do believe that a forensic audit will be able to lift the veil so that we can see who is this who was receiving these monies at this very curious time when Kenya was in between transition. And Mr. Speaker, as the Committee of Communication and Information, I would like to report to this House that we shall actually undertake an inquiry that shall lift the veil of secrecy on how Telkom was changing hands from Kenya to foreigners, back to Kenya, and then a pseudo sale that was not an actual sale that occasioned the loss of over 6 billion Kenya shillings. And to make it worse, these monies were being paid under the provisions of Article 223, Mr. Speaker, something that is unexplainable, Mr. Speaker. So when we do start out on this inquiry, I would like to ask the members to contribute any information they have, because it will be helpful in us unveiling and lifting the veil on this very curious transaction. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.